Hey, I'm Henry, and I've got one crazy story for you. I'm a 32-year-old software engineer, living the dream with my amazing wife, Emma. She's 30, crushing it in marketing, and we're about to have our first baby. Life's good. We just moved into this awesome house in the burbs, picket fence, huge backyard, the whole dream package. Emma's all over the decorating, telling me, "Babe, we need curtains for the nursery." I'm excited, but there's this nagging feeling I can't shake. It's all because of Uncle Frank. Growing up, he was always on my case, making me feel like I wasn't good enough. One time at a family BBQ, I was just 12, and Frank comes over and says, "Still playing with your toy computers, Henry? When are you going to get a real job?" Classic Frank, always had to act like the big man. Now, Emma's 8 months pregnant, waddling around in the cutest way, and we're planning a housewarming party. She says, "We need to invite your family," and I'm thinking, great, Frank's going to show up and ruin everything. But I can't say no to Emma, not when she's glowing like this. So I call my parents. They're cool, but they've never stood up to Frank. My dad's all, "Son, he's family. We have to invite him." Then there's my sister, Laura, who thinks Uncle Frank walks on water. "He's just misunderstood," she says. Yeah, right. Luckily, my buddy Mike gets it. He's been my rock since college. I vent to him about Frank, and he says, "Dude, just tell him not to come." It's not that easy, I tell him. He's family. "Family doesn't treat you like trash," Mike replies. He's right, but still, easier said than done. Emma overhears and waddles over. "Honey, is everything okay?" I put on my best smile. "Yeah, babe, just party planning." But she sees right through me. "Is this about your uncle?" I nod, and she gives me this look, like she can see straight into my soul. "Henry, this is our home, our family. If he can't respect that, he doesn't need to be here." God, I love this woman. But I know Frank. He'll show up, invited or not. And I've got this feeling in my gut that the party's going to be a disaster. The day of the party arrives, and I'm a nervous wreck. Our place looks amazing, thanks to Emma, and people are arriving, checking out the house. "Man, this place is sweet," Mike says, clapping me on the back. I'm about to respond when the door swings open. In stumbles Uncle Frank, uninvited and already half drunk. Great. Well, Frank slurs. "Look at little Henry, playing house. Bet Daddy's money helped, huh?" My fists clench, but Emma touches my arm. "Don't," she whispers. "It's not worth it." She's right, but keeping cool is tough. Frank's getting louder, making his rounds. I overhear him talking to Laura. "Can you believe this place? He's got more money than sense. Bet he'll lose it all in a year." Laura just nods, enabling him like always. Emma pulls on my sleeve, looking pale. I'm not feeling great. I'm going to lie down for a bit. I help her upstairs, worried. "You okay, babe?" She nods weakly. "Just tired. I'll be fine." Back downstairs, I try to relax, keeping an eye out for Frank, but he's disappeared. I'm talking to Mike when suddenly we hear a scream from upstairs, followed by a crash. "Emma!" I shout, sprinting up the stairs two at a time. I burst into the bedroom and freeze. Emma's on the floor, clutching her belly, tears streaming down her face. And standing over her is Uncle Frank, with pepper spray in his hand. "What the hell, Frank?" I yell, rushing to Emma. He stammers. I thought she was a burglar. But he can't even look me in the eye. A burglar. In a maternity dress? I'm seeing red now. Chaos erupts around me. Someone's calling 911. Mike's holding me back from decking Frank, and Laura's crying in the corner. It was an accident. Frank insists. I heard a noise and came to check. Bull. I spit. "You followed her up here, didn't you?" The paramedics are swarming around Emma, and I'm torn between staying with her and dealing with Frank. One of them turns to me. Sir, we need to take her to the hospital. The spray could affect the baby. My world stops. The baby. Our baby. As they wheel Emma out, I turn to Frank, who's backed into a corner, looking like a cornered rat. You're done, I tell him, my voice ice cold. You hear me? Done. Now, Henry. He starts, but I cut him off. Get out of my house. Now. Laura tries to intervene. Henry, it was an accident. Uncle Frank willed it. Save it, Laura. I snap. You didn't see what I saw. The cops show up and start asking questions. Frank's story is full of holes. He can't explain why he had pepper spray or why he was upstairs in the first place. As they lead him out, I catch Mike's eye. He nods, understanding. Go, he says. I'll handle things here. Be with Emma. I don't need to be told twice. As I rush out to the ambulance, I hear Frank yelling behind me, You ungrateful little. After all I've done for you. I don't look back. My family needs me. And Frank? Frank's about to learn that actions have consequences. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. The hospital waiting room is a blur. I'm pacing, mind racing with worst-case scenarios. Finally, the doctor comes out. Mr. Johnson, your wife and baby are stable. We'd like to keep Emma overnight for observation. I nearly collapse with relief. Can I see her? Emma's lying there, looking small and pale. Hey, babe, she whispers. I take her hand, fighting back tears. I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. She shakes her head. No, it's not. It's Frank's. That name makes my blood boil. As Emma drifts off to sleep, I step out and call Mike. How's Emma? He asks. She's okay. The baby too. Mike, I need your help. We're going to take Frank down. Mike doesn't hesitate. I'm in. What's the plan? Over the next few days, we start digging. Turns out Uncle Frank's got skeletons, like a graveyard's worth. I'm on the phone with Mike when Laura bursts in, furious. How could you? Uncle Frank's been arrested. This is all your fault. I'm too exhausted to argue. Laura, he pepper sprayed my pregnant wife. It was an accident. You're tearing this family apart. She yells before storming out. Mike's voice comes through the phone. Dude, you're not going to believe what I found. Frank's been fired from his last 3 jobs for harassment. And his ex-wives. They've got stories that'll make your skin crawl. I'm reeling from the info when Emma calls me over. She looks nervous. Henry, there's something I need to tell you. Frank, he's been saying things, inappropriate things, for months. My stomach drops. What? Why didn't you tell me? She looks away. I didn't want to cause trouble. I thought I could handle it. I'm furious, not at Emma, but at Frank. At myself for not seeing it sooner. That night, I confront my parents. My mom breaks down crying. We knew Frank had issues, Dad admits, but he's family. We thought we could help him. Help him? I'm incredulous. By letting him hurt everyone around him. They look ashamed, and for the first time, I see how Frank's manipulated everyone for years. The next day, Mike and I are going through the evidence we've gathered, police reports, testimonies from Frank's exes, even a video of him harassing a coworker. This is it, Mike says. We've got him. But something doesn't feel right. It's not enough, I realize. We need to catch him in a lie about what happened at the party. Mike grins. Way ahead of you, buddy. Remember Mrs. Gonzalez next door? Her security camera caught Frank following Emma upstairs. I could kiss him. Mike, you're a genius. As we go through the footage, Emma waddles in, looking better and stronger. What are you two up to? She asks. I pull her close. We're making sure Frank never hurts anyone again. She looks at the evidence spread out before us and nods. Good. It's time someone stood up to him. I kiss her forehead, feeling a mix of love and determination. Frank thought he could mess with my family and get away with it. He's about to learn how wrong he was. All right, I say, turning back to Mike. Let's finish this. It's showdown time. I'm sitting at the local diner, hands shaking. But I'm not backing down. Frank swaggers in, looking smug. What's this about, Henry? Finally ready to apologize. I slide the folder across the table. No, Frank. It's time for you to come clean. His face goes pale as he flips through the pages. Police reports, testimonies, the security footage. It's all there. This is nonsense. He sputters. I'll sue you for defamation. I leaned in close. Go ahead. I dare you. Frank storms out, but I'm not done. The next day, I make an anonymous call to his workplace, just sharing some public records, 2 days later, Mike calls me. Dude, you won't believe this. Frank got fired. I should feel bad, but I don't. Especially when Frank starts blowing up my phone with threats. You ruined my life. He screams. I'll make you pay. Those voicemails, they're gold. Combined with the pepper spray incident, it's enough to get a restraining order. The family's in an uproar. Laura's not speaking to me. Some cousins are taking Frank's side, but others? They're finally seeing the truth. Through it all, Emma's been my rock. And when she goes into labor, nothing else matters. It's a girl, the doctor announces. Holding my daughter, I make a silent promise. No one's ever going to hurt you, kiddo. Not while I'm around. Fast forward a year, we're at the park watching our little girl toddle around. Henry, Emma says, scrolling through her phone. You won't believe this. Turns out Frank tried to scam old Mrs. Johnson down the street. Got caught red-handed. He's facing fraud charges now. As our daughter takes her first wobbly steps toward us, I can't help but reflect. Standing up to Frank was the hardest thing I've ever done. But looking at my family now, it was worth it. You okay? Emma asks, noticing my far-off look. I pull her close. Never better. The park is peaceful. No drama, no toxicity, just us and our little girl. It wasn't easy getting here, but man, was it worth it. Hey, princess. I call out as our daughter giggles and runs toward us. I scoop her up and realize something. This is what winning looks like. Not taking down Frank, not clearing out the family drama. It's this moment right here. My wife, my kid, our life together. What are you thinking about? Emma asks, leaning her head on my shoulder. I kiss the top of her head. Just how lucky we are. And how we're never going to let anyone mess with this. She nods, understanding without words. We've been through hell, but we came out stronger. As for Frank and all the other toxic people, they're just a distant memory now. Our daughter squeals with delight as a butterfly lands nearby, and Emma and I exchange a look. This is what we fought for. A life full of love, laughter, and peace. As we pack up to head home, I take one last look around the park. The sun's setting, casting a golden glow over everything. It's like the whole world's telling us, you did good, kid. You did good. And you know what? For once, I believe it. We're going to be all right. More than all right, we're going to be amazing. The story's over, folks. Now, let me ask you this. If you were in my shoes, would you have confronted Frank earlier or waited until you had all the evidence? Was I right to protect my family at the cost of fracturing relationships with other relatives? This isn't just about family drama. It's about standing up to toxic behavior and the price we sometimes pay for doing what's right. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever had to cut ties with a family member for the sake of your own family's well-being? If this story resonated with you, hit that like button. And hey, for more real talk about family relationships and overcoming life's challenges, subscribe to the channel. We're building a community here, and your voice matters. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you with the next one.